Okay. All right, here's the tutorial for shutting down the cottage. So all of the heat obviously goes off. A number of those which you already know, except for basement heat right here and the sump pump. Those two must remain on. So what you're going to do is turn off the well right there and the water heater right there. So that's step one. Then I'll open up all of the faucets and let them run. And I usually grab a bucket and fill up a bucket with water while they're draining. So open them up and leave them running, and that'll get all the pressurized water out. So you can just kind of let it do its thing there. All three faucets. Put them on in the middle like that so you get hot and cold. Let them run. Fill up your bucket with some water to wash your hands when you're done. Let the shower run, same thing, right in the middle. And just leave them open until they stop running. And when they do, you go down into the basement here, and just these two boards in the front pop out. And I put a screwdriver in and kind of pry it up, and those come right up. Then you're gonna go in the basement, because the idea is get all the pressurized water out of the lines. They don't have to be totally waterless, but you want to get the pressurized water out. So once those are upstairs are done, then you turn off these and let those drain, and they'll run into the sump. Turn this one right here, that one, and then you're going to turn this, which I'm not going to do, but that'll empty the water heater, and they'll all run into the sump, like I said. And this one also, right there. I don't know if I have it. This one right here. And leave everything open. So open, open. These are open. And let that drain. And then just basically walk away for a while, because that water heater takes a long time to drain. Then what you can do is step 3. Hold on a second. Those previous steps, that gets all the water out of the lines. And then step 3 here is the water that's already in the toilets. So all you've got to do, flush the toilet, let that water go down, and then you just lift the top off, and whatever's water is left in there, you just take your handy dandy sponge right here, sponge, and you're just going to sponge it out, and then I wring it into the bucket. Sponge it out, wring it into the bucket. And once you got that top part dry, this is the funnest part. There's no gloves up here. I usually just wash my hands, because I just don't care. But anyway, you can wear gloves if you want. And I take this cup, scoop it, and dump it into the bucket. And then once you get down to the bottom, take the sponge, and so you get that till it's pretty much all the water out of it. Doesn't have to be bone dry, but pretty much all the water. So you do that to both toilets. And once you're done with that, I've got step 4. And step 4 is the antifreeze, which I have placed right there. There's 4 gallons of it. And you really only need 2, but you can't have too much. So if you use up 3 or all 4, whatever, that's fine. So, and then what you're going to do, come in here, antifreeze in the drain. This one uses the most antifreeze, so once that's, empty that out, and then pour antifreeze in there till it kind of pools in that bottom a little bit, and then run it on a rinse, on the rinse cycle, and that'll get all the water out of the drain and everything. That keeps that from having a problem. So you want just enough in there so it'll spray that antifreeze a little and kind of run through it. Antifreeze. Once that's empty, antifreeze. Once that's empty, antifreeze. You don't need anything on top, just in here. Antifreeze, antifreeze. And then, oh, you know what? I forgot one thing in the basement. You can get this after you're all done, but I always just wait until all this is done draining, and then that's leaking now. I close that one back up when it's all done, but I leave everything else, I leave it open. And then this is the last one right here. And I know it's not super easy to see, but there's a little piece right at the bottom, which you'll be able to see when you're down here. That unscrews, and that'll drain the line for the garden hose. And then you take the little piece after you unscrew it and just put it on the shelf right there and leave that open too. So that'll drain all your lines. No more pressure in the lines. And then antifreeze everything up. That's pretty much all there is to it. All right, have fun. All right, one more step, which I always forget until the very end. Apparently I forget it when I'm talking about it. So scoop the laundry out a little bit, and then back here you've got this thing right here, and I take this out and just grab a bucket from the garage, and that'll go, that just pulls out and that goes in a bucket. And then you got those two right there. There you go. And what you're gonna do is, once the water is off again, this is, we're draining the lines, you're gonna unscrew these, both of them, and I take these here channel locks and just, you know, give them a couple turns to loosen them up, and then you can do it by hand. And then you take those two lines and that and put it in a bucket, and then this hole right here, you're going to pour antifreeze in that. That is the last step, and like I said, I forget it every time until the very end. So and then leave this pushed out, because that way the person in the spring who opens it doesn't forget to put those lines back on, which has happened before, and then you get water all over the floor. All right, there we go, ready to roll.